at universities all over Europe, it's keeping our genetic software from being damaged. So DNA repair and avoiding the damage are the two key things we want to be able to do, and we already have programmed those products, those ingredients, into the products that we have at JNS. So this young man on the left is 17 years old, and on the right is 25 years old, right before he passed away. So what is the problem here? The problem is a defect in one gene. That gene is the DNA repair gene that keeps his genetic software healthy. And this poor young man died of age-related diseases, heart attack, stroke, because one gene was poorly functioning. So what happens if you're blessed and you happen to be somebody who has a gene that's not only not defective, but it's working 4 or 5 times better than the average person? You end up with this. You end up with somebody at 105 can still compete in the Senior Olympics, has remained healthy, and probably will remain healthy for another 15 or 20 years. So the secret is obvious now, is how do we keep that genetic software healthy, and how do we build that information into the products we have with JNS? So AMPM Essentials is 8 years of research and countless different types of clinical studies to see what's effective, okay? And this is a core product that we're trying to explain to people that will help build and restore your cells, but it works in conjunction with our other products, with Finity, with Reserve, with Mind. So one of the other key things that we were looking at is what happens as we age is we lose our ability to digest our food and get the nutrients we need out of that food, which is why we need so many different ingredients and natural compounds to be replaced. Today's genetically modified food is something that I believe will become a major, major issue and a negative black mark in years to come. So about 500,000 years ago, when we were all kind of more primitive, genetically and physically, our bodies evolved on natural compounds, natural herbs, natural plants, natural fruits, and our genetic software is basically primed to work optimally on this. It's only the last 10,000 or 20,000 years we started to eat meat, okay, which is not bad in certain quantities, but our real software, the genetic software that we as humans evolved on, is based on natural compounds. And the problem is, how do you get those key compounds that you need all year long and in the right concentrated versions? Well, it was virtually impossible until we came up with this product. And this product is basically your basic fuel, your basic source to help keep each one of those cells working a little more optimally and more efficiently. Now, up until just very, very recently, you may ask, and a lot of people have asked me, well, how do you design these products? How do you come up with the right formula? And up until just a year or two ago, we would have to be searching the literature on the internet. But let me show you what's unique also to JNS now. We are now starting to use an artificial intelligence software program like this. And it looks a little complicated, but it's very simple. We can plug in on the upper right of this, on the red little squares, what genes we know we need to alter to keep your cells and genetic software working optimally. We can then hit the software button, and in about 8 hours, we can look at 300,000 databases and see what is the most recent information on natural compounds that can help create a product that we know we need to keep our cells healthy. This is a revolution, and this is what's going to be a major part of creating future products as we learn more and more about the aging process. So let's take a look at an image of how this kind of works. This program gets plugged in. It goes on for about 8 hours. It looks at all the compounds that we know are involved in the genetics to keep our bodies healthy, to keep our skin and our body texture healthy. And as it runs and looks through these different databases, it actually searches natural compounds and compounds that we know. It will actually teach us how to mix these compounds to create a product that's not only absorbable, but in the long run, create a healthier body in the future. Now, nobody else is looking at using the importance of computer information, artificial intelligence, and the vast amounts of information in the anti-aging world that we have to look at to stay the leaders in this industry. So it's not only about putting the right nutrients into your cells. When our cells receive these natural compounds, they can also remove the ingredients inside those cells that are not beneficial. And that's just as important as getting the right things inside. So what happens as our cells age? Remember I mentioned that they become damaged and they start to make these compounds that actually cause our healthy cells to age quicker. And how do they do that? They actually start turning off the good genes and activating the bad genes. And that is the science of epigenetics, meaning we're not removing genes, but we're just changing the activity of these genes. So let's take a look at what this looks like if you'll run that video. Here's a young boy whose gene profile on the left, the green and the yellow are active genes, the red and the black are turned off genes. So he goes from a child to an early adolescence. You see the switching in the genes, they go from green and yellow to red. Now he's a teenager. Now he's going to go into an adulthood, which is that third little box. And you'll start to see more of those genes getting dark. You're going to start to see him getting some gray hair, some wrinkles. The skin is going to start to get lax. And now at the age of 60, 65, 70, you see what happens to those genes. So we now understand a very, very large amount of what genes we need to try to push in the right direction, up or down. This is a major, major advance in anti-aging. Now we can do that with natural compounds. So in the past, this plate represents 92 different ingredients 3 times a day. And if you were to go to other companies who have vitamins and minerals separately, this is what you'd see. And that actually is contained within 2 tablets, or 4 tablets, or 1 AM/PM powder stick. Now you have to understand the science and technology to create not only the right ingredients, to put these ingredients together so they work together, and to be able to get them into your body in order to really improve how your cells work and your genes work. So if we were to take or eat some of these tablets, let's run this video, what you would see is those ingredients would get absorbed by your stomach, they go into your bloodstream, into the cell, and these little red things are certain ingredients that actually cause the DNA to open up, and you're going to see this coil of DNA open up. And then what you're going to do is see these yellow things are the things that activate or turn up certain genes and down certain genes. So basically, this is what happens naturally to our bodies. If we exercise, if we eat the right foods, if we have less stress in our bodies, what happens is we have the right sequence of genes to keep us healthy. Okay. So AM/PM, for instance, has 9 categories of these different ingredients for each component inside the cell to help that cell work optimally. Reserve has a number of ingredients that also work in different compartments that you'll see here. Affinity works in some of these compartments. So all of these ingredients have been designed and products designed to work together. Let's talk about one other thing that's really, really important. You'll notice that as you get older, you just don't sleep as well. And you get up in the morning and you're tired. Now, sleep has become one of the major focuses today in the world of aging and health. But in the morning, our cells have been programmed to actually help wake us up, to create more energy, and to maintain our cells throughout the day. In the evening, our cells are programmed for rest, repair, detoxification. Now, what happens to our bodies is that pattern switches as we get older. And so up until recently, there wasn't really any way we could restore that pattern. But what we found out was we could do that with the right combination of ingredients. So I'm going to scare quite a few of you right now, because if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep, and very few of us are really trying to do that, 7 hours of sleep, here's what happens if you don't get it. Your telomeres, which are the cellular aging clocks that tell us how many copies you have left, they get shorter very quickly and you die quicker. Your DNA repair is less optimal. Your immune function gets weak and you get sick more often. Your brain function, your brain aging, and your memory is less effective. You gain weight because you're more hungry and your hormones get shifted because you eat more. That's because you don't sleep enough. Now, one of the major effects of AM/PM, along with the use of our other products, is the following. we did a study at 8 weeks. You'll see here a major improvement in the light green of people who slept much better. Okay, at 12 weeks, they continued to improve. And it wasn't just sleep, okay, their energy got better, their mental focus got better, okay, their skin quality got better, and their ability to handle stress got better. Now, that's all designed. That's all designed into just one product. Affinity. Now, affinity is a specific combination of ingredients that helps keep those cellular clocks working longer so you can make more copies of those cells that you need. So that works in conjunction with the other products. And as you see these little yellow caps, like on the ends of your shoelace, shorten every time the cell makes a division until it stops dividing and becomes one of those bad cells that makes bad compounds. Okay, if you look here, at age 20, that's really nice and long. 30, it's a little shorter. At age 66, you start to get to the point where that little cellular division clock has turned off your cells. So affinity contains ingredients that can help maintain that telomere length. Okay, unhealthy cells becoming a very big topic today in our research. We want to be able to get rid of those or slow the progression of those down. So I said to you, we discovered this gene mTOR that seems to be the switch that makes your cells age quicker. Well, the key ingredient in resveratrol, actually is one of the key things that cause that gene to be slowed down. And this is a very, very important component to aging optimally. And Reserve is one of the most important products you need to be taking, not only for that purpose, but also because of its combination of multiple fruit extracts, which have antioxidants that help buffer those free radicals that we saw earlier. The perfect approach to body fat, to less body fat and more muscle. Well, we all want to look better, but more importantly, we want to be able to function, because as we age, we lose muscle, we gain body fat, and our bones get less dense. So one of the great things with Zen Fuse, for instance, is it's a special time-release protein that also has the probiotics and digestive enzymes to help our body absorb that protein, make more muscle, and cut our body fat down. Mind. Well, a number of years ago we did a survey. What was one of the most important things people who were 40 and over wanted to maintain and preserve or improve was their memory? Because after all, if we can't remember things efficiently, we can't function. We'll actually lose part of who and what we are if we can't remember our past. So memory is one of the most important things for us to keep in mind. Now, things that can help you remember, even without any products, are learning to focus better, reduce your distractions, so when you look at something, you're not distracted by a thought or something else. A calm state of mind. Sufficient sleep, we already talked about that, and optimal nutrition. Well, Mind has been designed with a key ingredient called SeraQ, which is an amazing protein found in cocoons of specific butterflies. And the clinical data on this product is amazing, with improvements in short-term, long-term memory, amongst other things. The other ingredients contained here help with focus, help with keeping a calm state of mind, and help in working synergistically with SeraQ. So now we're looking at, we spoke about the synergy built into the YES system. So people say to me, well, what's the quickest way I can get really a big improvement in my skin? I say, well, you need to take the treatment from the inside out and outside in. The Luminous product line is by far, with its stem cell ingredients and proteins, one of the most effective ways to treat your skin from the outside in. And when we use AM/PM and in conjunction with Reserve, what we see is a dramatic improvement in the skin quality. So we're almost finished here, and what we're going to do is just make a few more comments about where the future's going and how you're in control with not just the products and information from JNS, but your lifestyle. Basically, we inherit 70% of our genetics is based on what we do, think, and know, and only 30% of our genetics dictates our future health. Okay, so if you know how to eat right, keep your genes healthy, That's one of the things that will really help your cells stay healthy, along with the products and the science from JNS. You don't want to eat large quantities. If you put your palms together, it's probably the maximum amount of food you should eat at each meal. You should always eat your proteins first. You should probably avoid white carbohydrates, and you should eat the right qualities or ratios of proteins, fats. And this is easy to learn, and it's information that is very easy to get. Exercise. If you do 15 or 20 minutes a day, first thing in the morning, your body will burn more calories the rest of the day than if you exercise at night or in the afternoon. You definitely want to exercise your abdomen and your low back, because that's what keeps your body balanced. So how to decrease your stress? Well, here's what we know. If you're stressed, the age-accelerating hormone cortisol becomes very high. It not only causes you to lose your memory, to gain more fat, you lose muscle mass. Stress in itself is one of the key things that causes us all to age quicker. And there's very simple exercises you can incorporate just for 5 minutes, which is breathing, focusing on certain thoughts, and repeating certain things in the morning to really set your day, your mind state optimally for the day. So you want to feed your genes, and we talked to you about in the beginning about how our GI tract ages. So actually one of the quickest organs to age, so we don't absorb the right nutrients. Well, the secret here is to get not only the right nutrients, but the right probiotics and the right bacteria back into our intestines, so that we not only can absorb the nutrients from things like AM, PM, reserve, affinity, but also get more nutrient value out of the food we eat. Okay. So basically, it's your genes, your environment, and the information that you yourself incorporate into your lifestyle that makes the difference in how long you live, how healthy you live. Most importantly, being able to being exposed to the information behind the products. So where are we going in the future? Well, today, we now have these new devices you can wear on your finger like a ring that actually will tell us how much sleep you had, how much deep sleep, how much activity you did. It'll actually buzz you if you're not moving enough, so you burn more calories. You can even have diamonds put into your ring. Okay, so what does it show? On the app, it will actually show you for weeks at a time how much sleep you got. Remember we talked about how important sleep was. How much activity you burned. Whether what your body temperature was. How your heart rate responds to exercise. All very important pieces of information so that you take more control of your health. So going back to the foundation of the YES system. The YES system is the core of what makes JNS unique. And I've looked at all the other companies who are competitors. Nobody is focusing on building a product inventory that works synergistically, that's effective and experiential. You see and feel the difference. That works synergistically. The more products you use, the better the impact is. And that works at the fundamental unit of the cell. You have to understand that it may sound like you've heard this before, but there are no other companies who can compete with this type of credibility in science. So the YES system is what will continue to drive the marketplace for JNS based on the most recent research. And where do we go from here to get you to be that Ferrari with a gas cap that can be filled and can go for many, many more miles than the other models? Well, let's take a look. Can we run this? Can you run that video, please? What we're really doing is using the proteins from younger cells from another person to reprogram older cells from a different person. What we've seen already in our early studies is that those senescent genes that produce inflammatory compounds and things that are directly related to cancer have actually been reversed. They've been turned off. So that's been a very good sign that most likely, in the long run, this will certainly be a safe therapy in the next few years. So what we're trying to show you is that we have already taken stem cells, which are our regenerative potential, people who are 70 and 80 years old, and turn them back into cells that function like 25-year-old cells, which means those cells have the capacity to repair and restore our bodies and keep them healthy longer. One of the things that we're doing right now in a number of clinics, in my clinics, in and out of the country, is we collect and store your stem cells. And if we collect and store those when you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, they never have to be restored, but you have in your bank one of your most important assets. You know, it's always been thought that money is your most important asset. I will predict, and I'm sure I'll be right, that in the very near future, it isn't going to be money, it's going to be health and time. So the best way to maintain your cells is to use the science behind JNS right now, which will help keep both your stem cells and your body cells healthy. So as this science becomes mainstream, you're already in the position to take advantage of it. Let me show you what's going on already. If you had your stem cells banked, okay, we take them out of the bank, we can put them in what's called now a 3D printer. That is a machine that actually will print the skeleton of an organ. And in about 10 days to 2 weeks, the stem cells are dripped onto that skeleton, and we start on the left hand, you'll start seeing on the far right, that's the heart of a frog. In 2 weeks, was able to be transplanted into a frog. This will put the organ transplant business out of business. And this is another reason why you want to keep your stem cells healthy, because this is the future of medicine. This is the future of health. Our clinic in Costa Rica will be open in about a month. We will be doing some of these much more advanced therapies than we could possibly do in the US, all under strict clinical settings. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that you're looking at some of the science of the future when it comes to anti-aging, but many of the core concepts are available already in the products from JNS. So when you're speaking to people about what makes JNS different, yes, it's got one of the best compensation programs in the market. Yes, it is a family of people, like-minded people who support you. And yes, it is without a question a company based on the most credible science and most up-to-date research in anti-aging medicine. And you're the ones who bring that to the world around you. You're the ambassadors to health. You're the ones who can help change the world. Thank you.